welcome to Anglesey with the Snowdonia range just in the background there. This is round 3 of the Ducati Desmo class. And, well, these guys all out there on their 583 or 620cc air-cooled and some fuel-injected machines. Well, out there on the grid, it's Steve Mason who takes up pole position, and it will be all eyes to the lights for the class. And, well, that was a very, very enthusiastic start there, I think, for the number 50 machine of Scott Wilson. And although, by the looks of things, chances are race control didn't manage to pick that one up. Well, away they go, and this is going to be a 10-lap race altogether here at Anglesey Circuit. 2 classes altogether. We have the A class and the B class, as we see Steve Mason on the number 41 machine already around Church Corner. Just behind him, well, that appears to be the number 33 machine of Andy Pike. And, well, it's a complete change from the last time that we were at Mallory Park, believe it or not, where Neil Appleby on the number 70 machine took most of the points. Well, here we go then. It is Steve Mason on the green Ducati Desmo Dew. He's in the A-class with Andy Pike in second on another A-class machine. First of our B-class machines will turn out to be Paul Bedbury on the number 7. Well, relatively even match these machines. As I say, A-class are the 620cc fuel-injected machines, whereas the B-class, well, they certainly will need to run a lot more corner speed because they're 583 non-injected machines here at Anglesey. Well, we're looking halfway down the grid at the moment, and that's the number 71 machine out there of Michael Tessieman, with number 7 Paul Bedbury in tow at the moment. And these guys, well, just very ham-fisted with the throttle indeed, as they try to use all of the horses that are laid within these V-twins. Here we go, the 71 machine still being chased down now, and we can see at number 50 in the background, that's Scott Wilson, just going underneath the number 7 machine as they enter into Peel Corner. And, well, I thought that was going to be a straight on for a second there for Paul Bedbury, but he regains control of that machine, tips it into the right-hander as they head around Peel out. So a 6-wheeler then for third place at the moment, as these guys head down toward the corkscrew. Of course, setup on these machines do differ absolutely wildly, as this time we see an overtake by the number 15 machine of Scott Wilson, and he's almost on the tail and in the slipstream of the number 71 of Michael Tessieman as they head into turn 1, taking a wide line in just so they can get a good run out. And I think this time round the advantage does go to the number 7 machine, who gets better drive out. So Paul Bedbury now tips it in, almost takes 2 spots in 1 there, as Michael Tessieman doesn't quite get the apex right on the banking curve. Through Church Corner they go. Steve Mason and Andy Pike pretty much checked out, as a slight bobble there from number 7, as the number 50 of Scott Wilson regains control of that 5th position. Well, away they go past our camera and up into Peel Corner. A little bit of braking technique by the number 71 machine up into Peel, just matching the revs with that big booming V-twin engine. And out of Peel, well, this really can be anybody's at this point. We're not too sure who's going to end up where. More often than not, though, these guys end up in the kitty litter if they get it slightly wrong. We have seen them coming back into pit with somebody else's tyre marks on their sleeves. Their racing is literally that close as, well, that's almost an overtake by the number 50 on the number 71 machine as they head onto the start-finish, just able to carry a little bit more corner speed through that final curve. Of course, well, after we saw a couple of high-side crashes in our endurance races, these guys just taking it a little bit easier. Conditions having calmed down now. We're later on in the programme of events with Hot Track Motorsport, so the wind having died down ever so slightly. And track conditions very, very favourable indeed. But, well, that was almost an outside manoeuvre there by the number 50 machine. And it looks like Scott Wilson does make the manoeuvre up into Peel, just balks the number 71 of Michael Tessieman wide. Does he make it stick? No, he doesn't. It's a wide line in to get the run out. Round the outside to go, takes the inside line, and well, 2 in 1 there. As possibly a missed gear by Michael Tessieman on the entry into Peel out. So that fight now on for that 3rd spot. No massive change, no change up top. It is still Steve Mason from Andy Pike in the lead. As we see them across the line, it's a lonely first position for the number 41 of Steve Mason. There's the 33 machine of Andy Pike. Of course, these guys are not sporting the original bodywork. That's a Ducati 996 body kit that we can see there. It looks like either a Gixxer tail end on that, or possibly a TL T end. Slightly further back, though, there is the number 88 machine of Kevin Ellis, being joined by one of the novices just behind him. And I think that's the number 51 of Paul Pullen in the B class. Chasing down Kevin Ellis, gets a good, nice wide line and exits almost as an overtake on the outside of the banking corner. Unfortunately, doesn't quite get the drive he would like and loses his place. Well, the number 88 machine currently in about 8th place. Absolutely wringing the neck of his A-class Ducati Desmo. Of course, series director Phil has control of these races down from the start-finish straight, and he'll be watching these events very eagerly. Well, Tom Roberts out there on his A-class machine, very pretty colours indeed. Just a slight bobble on the brakes, just had to be very careful indeed, as we saw Kevin Ellis just chop the nose off of well, I think we can call that an original MV colour, can't we? The blue and white, often seen on some of the early MV Augustas. So a bit of an homage there on that A-class Ducati Desmo. But that battle's still on. Kevin Ellis has a look over his shoulder, and this time it is the number 84 of Tom Roberts who gets the inside line into the banking as they head out. And that was 2 places in 1 lost there, believe it or not. So the novice just getting ahead. Back to the mid-pack we go, though. And it is that battle still between number 7 and number 50 for the 3rd spot. So Paul Bedbury now just a slight balking manoeuvre to get Michael Tessieman out of the way. As we look slightly further back behind that, the MV Augusta coloured 84 at Tom Roberts now ahead of the novice. So the 51 machine of Paul Pullen has a look round the outside. Well, this is going to be a brave manoeuvre, or a clever one, as they head down to the corkscrew. There we see the number 7 of Paul Bedbury, though. Got 4 or 5 bike lengths ahead of the number 50 of Scott Wilson now, as they head down into Church Corner. And this one will be absolutely flat out for these Ducatis. No need to come on the brake or off the gas for that corner for these booming V-twins. As this time the number 50 makes his manoeuvre again. Scott Wilson going around the outside of the number 7 into Peel Corner. Takes a wide defensive line as he knows that the number 7 of Paul Bedbury is going to be on the inside. Oh no, I wonder if that was a slight brake check there. Who's going to get the tight line coming out? Well, no overtake there. I thought the number 7 of Paul Bedbury was just going to say thank you very much, same to you, pal, and do an overtake around the outside there, but to no avail. Couple of bike lengths between them now as they head down into this final corner. Onto the start-finish straight they go. And let's see if the number 7 of Paul Bedbury can get in the slipstream. Has a look up the inside. No, still that gap between them. Absolutely nothing in this, as you can see. The number 50 of Scott Wilson now starting to pull away, but that's a very wide line, and having just touched the grass, it's a wave there from number 7 of Paul Bedbury, saying, I don't think so, no. And now starts to put the power down as they exit round Church, but this time, well, that number 50 machine again of Scott Wilson gets him under power, so clearly a much better setup on the number 50 under power. Both these B-class machines should be relatively equally matched, having only minor differences in terms of suspension setup, but well, the engine should be pretty much even Stevens. No tuning really allowed on these engines either, so well, it really does come down unfortunately to your suspension and also bike setup. By the looks of it, the number 7 of Paul Bedbury having a slight weight disadvantage from the number 50 of Scott Wilson, so well, anything up to 2 horsepower can be lost per 1.5 stone of weight as they start coming up to some of the back markers in this Ducati Desmo series. One round the outside and one up the inside. Well, number 31 there, Andy Turner, the meat in the sandwich there of the B-class Ducati Desmos, as they neatly make their way past and around Church Bend. Well, certainly this is where the action is on track, this battle for 3rd position. As again, number 7 shakes his head and thinks, well, no, here we go again. Can you not just slot in behind me and we can do a few quick laps, try and catch the leaders? Steve Mason and Andy Pike way out in front at the moment, and well, things pretty much staying the same now. Possibly the number 50 of Scott Wilson finding form now, tips it very squarely into that corner, runs slightly wide on the exit, no advantage gained there by the number 7. Here's our leader, Steve Mason, on the number 41 machine, tipping it into the banking. Leathers matching his machine, easily identifiable from a distance, even sprayed his frame white to match the back half of his leathers. Has a good look behind him just to see whereabouts the number 33 of Andy Pike is, and well, that's probably half the length of the back straight between 1st and 2nd. Look at our timing sheets, it's approximately a 3.5 second gap between 1st and 2nd. Both the A-class out there, fuel injected machines, just those slight variations in suspension setup. Drops it down the hill into the corkscrew section, then into the final bend for the number 41, turns the corner, takes the checkered flag. Well, that's certainly an outright win there for Steve Mason, with Andy Pike on the number 33. That battle for third still going to the line. It's the number 50 of Scott Wilson who runs out, and well, would you believe it, it's almost a photo finish, but it is Scott Wilson who gets it just from Paul Bedbury. So Steve Mason takes the win, Andy Pike in 2nd, Paul Bedbury in 3rd, with Scott Wilson in 4th position. Michael Tessiman taking that 5th. David Jenkins in 6th, Paul Pullen 7th. Tom Roberts in 8th, Kevin Ellis in 9th, with Phil Deruvala in 10th. Well, that's it for the Desmos. Round 4 will be at Snetterton. Join us then.